Chartered in 1832, the Strasburg Railroad holds the distinction of longest continuously operated railroad in the Western Hemisphere. Although many know the Strasburg as a tourist operation, it has only been a tourist railroad for about 60 of its nearly 190-year history. One of the steam engines that worked the railroad in its early tourist years, engine number 1223, has since been retired. It now sits on display at the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania, right across the street from the Strasburg Depot. We will watch as 1223 completed its final tourist season on the Strasburg Railroad. Although it sits dormant only a stone's throw away, let's watch this superstar of an engine as it comes back to life. Tourist operations began on the Strasburg Railroad in January of 1959. 6 years later, engine number 1223 was leased from the Pennsylvania Railroad and restored to operating condition. This American-type 440 locomotive wasn't just a workhorse on the Pennsy, it was also a movie star in its own right. Appearing in feature films such as the 1941 Broadway Limited and Hello, Dolly in 1969, it was as much at home on the big screen as it was on the rails. Completing its nearly continuous 84 years of active service, here are some home movies of 1223's final days on the rails. We are at the Strasburg Railroad in October of 1989, as we watch 1223 returning with what would become one of its few remaining tourist runs. By this time, ownership of the engine had transferred from the Pennsylvania Railroad, now Penn Central, over to the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania. The Strasburg Railroad continued to lease the engine from the museum for tourist operations. Having completed all of its tourist runs for the day, we watch as the engine prepares to be put away for the night. Around this time, it was discovered that 1223 was becoming unsafe to operate and was in need of repairs. And since the Strasburg didn't own the engine, they were reluctant to complete them themselves, and the museum preferred to not alter a historic piece of equipment. A few weeks after the taping of this video, 1223 made its final tourist runs on the Strasburg, and the lease from the museum was allowed to expire. The engine now sits on display right across the street. As preparations continue to be made for 1223 to enter the engine house for the night, we see another of Strasburg's engines, number 90, also returning with a tourist run. Built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works in 1924, Engine number 90 spent its life in Colorado working for the Great Western, before it eventually came to the Strasburg Railroad in the 1960s. Look closely and you might notice a yellow car at the end of number 90's train. This car was also one of 1223's co-stars in the movie Hello, Dolly. In what would become one of the last videos of this great engine under fire, we bid a fond farewell to 1223. Visit railweekly.com for railfan resources and our online store. And don't forget to click subscribe for free to help us bring you more videos just like this one. Thank you for watching.